Hi guys! Welcome to Learning at Home. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will know once we upload our new videos. I'm Sherwin Manual. I'm the training specialist of Fortius Skills Academy. Tonight, I'm going to be presenting on how to ace your job interview. Job interview is an important part of the job application process. Before you reach the job interview portion, the most important thing that you have to do first is to submit a comprehensive resume or a curriculum vitae that will entice potential employers for you to be part of the job interview, and in the next phase it's the exam. But one of the toughest part of the job application process is the job interview. I'll be presenting tonight 7 important tips on how to ace your job interview. So, how do you begin your job interview? So number 1, you have to research on your potential employer. This is very important, that you have to know about the organization which you are applying for. So you have to learn about their accomplishments, their goals, their mission. And where do you get this? You can get this from their websites or from their social media platforms. It could be Facebook, it could be through Twitter, or it could be through their Instagram accounts. What do you need to know? You have to learn about their history. You'd also need to learn about their recent announcements or executive orders or memorandums from their offices. Also, it's also important that you learn about the values and the mission and vision, the goals of the organization, so that you can align yourself, or you can align your qualification. You can contextualize your qualification to their mission, to their vision and goals. Another important aspect of the job interview as part of your preparation is to review the job description that you are applying for. When you do the review of the job description, it will help you prepare, explain your fitness to the job roles that you are applying for. You will be able to know the responsibilities that goes with the job. You have to pay attention to keywords like the skill sets that they need. You also need to know what are the experiences that they require, and focus on the responsibilities. In doing so, you can align this to your background or to your previous experiences of the job. The next part is understand the STAR method in the interview. What is this STAR method of a job interview? STAR is a very important practice, no, or method of knowing the behavior of a potential applicant. The STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So what are the potential questions that goes with this STAR method approach of interviewing? Possible questions that lead to this would be: describe a time when you work under pressure at work. How did you react to that? So first is you have to show to the panel or the person interviewing you of the situation. So for instance, you were given a task to create a safety program for the organization. So you have to provide the situation that the company needs a safety program, and you are tasked to lead in that in the creation of the program. So you have to come. You start from scratch, and then just gather people to be part of creating that safety program. Then what are the tasks involved? You have to tell them what are the tasks. It could be like involving other people. It could be inviting engineers, identifying who are the right personalities into required task. And that what are the actions taken. You can tell them of your experience as to how you did come up with a safety program for your organization. You can say you have to study the whole building, found out the hazards and risks in the work environment, and you can tell them of the result. Now, of what happened after you did all those work, you completed all the tasks that's part of accomplishing the safety program for your company. So you tell them of the results. So in this manner, the potential employer is actually looking at how you're able to do the work, how you're able to overcome difficulties in work scenarios. The fourth is practice answering interview questions. That's very important. So you can find a lot of practice questions in the internet right now. Okay, so you can just Google interview questions, and you need to practice it. First is physically. You have to practice it by facing it in front of a mirror, and then practice both your verbal and non-verbal way of answering the questions. That would be including your facial expressions, the movement of your lips, the movement of your eyes, the hand gestures that you do when you answer the questions. You can also think of ways in answering the question. What language will you use? Are you comfortable in English? Are you comfortable if you're a Filipino? Are you comfortable in Filipino? Or can you mix it? So the good thing is if we can answer the questions in English, then it would be better. Some of the practice questions would be, tell me about yourself. So how do you answer the questions like telling about yourself? So this one is like getting an overview of who you are. If you are asked about tell me about yourself, you do not answer them with what's written in your resume, because they have already read that and they already know that. You will give about an overview of what you are currently doing and highlights of accomplishments of your background. Another questions are questions that would ask about your qualities, like if, for example, describe yourself. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? So, in answering these questions, make sure that you are able to mention your good qualities, no? Your qualities, your characteristics as a person that would contribute particularly to the job description or to the job that you are applying for. Now we proceed to the fifth. This is always important. Dress appropriately for your interview. Whether it's a face-to-face interview or an online interview, you have to dress appropriately. Now, what are the appropriate dress? It must be, if the job or the company requires you to be a business formal attire, then you can wear coat with tie. That's very important. That's for the gentlemen. And for the ladies, you can always wear coat or an executive office attire. For the ladies, is it required to wear makeup? Yes, of course. You have to put on makeup, but make sure it's simple. It's not too much. Red lipsticks, but not a blazing red. The eyes should not be so dark also. The earrings must be simple, not so dangling that would distract the interviewer. It's not also appropriate to use or to wear very dazzling jewelry like a necklace of diamond or a big strand of gold. The next is think about your questions in advance. Interviewer will sometimes ask you, do you have question? It's actually a tricky part of the interview because it could be sometimes you're not prepared and you do not know what question to ask and you might ask the wrong question. So what are the possible questions you can ask to your potential employer? Number one would be something that would show your interest to be part of the organization. For example, you can ask them to elaborate a day-to-day activity in the office. So that means it will show that you are interested as how they work. You can also ask how many departments that you have, or in the particular position that you are applying for, how many departments in the organization are linked to it. So these are questions that show your interest to the company or the position you are applying for. You can also ask what are the best things to do in the first 30 days of your job in this particular organization. So it shows that you want to already at the very start of your work, at day one of your work, you already want to do or to contribute something good to the organization. So it's a plus point for you if you ask questions that are showing that you are very much interested of the organization as well as to the role that you are applying for. Follow up after the interview. This is the last tip that I'm giving you in order to ace your interview. Is it good to follow up the company after your interview? Yes, it is. So, but there are many ways on how to follow up on your interview. Number one is you can follow it up right hours after or right after you were interviewed. You can email them saying, expressing your gratitude, thanking them for their time and for the comfortable experience during the interview, and then reiterate your interest for the job. And then you would let, for example, a week, and you haven't heard of them, then you can also do another follow up, uh, another email follow up to the company whether have they closed the position or have they chosen already, so that you can also move on. Basically, that's it. There are just 7 tips on how to ace your job interview. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, then you can just comment it on the comment box, and that I'll be able to answer them.